The sky above the ice planet was burning. Fire streaked across the darkness as Ethan's ship fell, spinning and screaming through the cold black sky. Inside, alarms blared and metal groaned. Ethan gripped his seat as the crash alert shouted. In his ears, "Brace for impact, brace for impact," the AI voice repeated again and again. And then, everything went white when he opened his eyes. Ethan was lying in the wreckage. His helmet was cracked, one leg twisted under debris. Steam hissed from broken pipes and sparks danced like fireflies in the dark. The world was silent. Except for the wind outside, snow was falling hard, covering the broken ship piece by piece. He pulled himself free, his body aching. The cold hit him like a punch. His suit had only limited heat left. He had maybe a few hours. "Emergency beacon," he muttered, limping toward the survival kit. He placed the small beacon on a metal crate and activated it. A soft red light blinked, but the signal was weak. He checked the map. No cities, no outposts, nothing for thousands of kilometers, only ice, wind, and silence. Ethan found a half-broken section of the ship that could work as shelter. He dragged a sleeping bag inside, made a fire with an old power cell, and sat down. His breath was fogging inside the helmet. It was going to be a long, cold night. Then he heard it. Crunch, crunch, footsteps on snow, slow, cautious, not human. He reached for his blaster and turned off the firelight. His heartbeat pounded in his ears. A shadow moved outside, then stopped. It was small, maybe the size of a teenage girl. Thin arms, glowing eyes, silver skin, alien. She stumbled, holding her side, and fell into the snow. Ethan waited, unsure what to do. Then she groaned, tried to crawl, and collapsed again. She was clearly injured, barely breathing. Ethan hesitated. She was from the enemy species, one of the Sithari. Humans and Sithari had fought wars before, but this wasn't war anymore, was it? He stepped out slowly, blaster in hand. She didn't move. Her skin shimmered like light through water, but it was cracked, damaged. She was freezing to death. "Hey," Ethan said. "Can you understand me?" Her eyes opened a little, glowing like blue fire. She blinked, then gave the smallest nod. He sighed, looked at the cold sky, and cursed. "Fine," he said, "but don't stab me in my sleep." He picked her up. She was lighter than he expected and carried her into the wreckage. Inside, he laid her near the fire. She coughed, then looked at him carefully, like a wild animal unsure if she should run. Ethan pulled out the sleeping bag, unzipped it, and looked at her. "There's only one bag," he said. "It's warm inside. You'll live." She didn't speak, just watched him. He pointed. "Get in." She hesitated, then slowly, silently, slipped into the bag. He followed, careful not to touch her too much. It was tight, awkward, but warm. The fire crackled softly, outside. The wind howled across the ice fields. After a few minutes, she spoke. "Why ... Help me." Her voice was soft, strange, like music in the snow. Ethan looked at the ceiling. "Because we're both going to die if we don't," he said. "And because I'm not a monster." She looked at him for a long time, then smiled, just a little. Her eyes were brighter now. "Your people hate mine," she said. "Not all of us," Ethan answered. "Some of us are just tired of fighting." Silence returned. She closed her eyes, breathing slower now. The bag was warm. The fire was steady. But then her hand moved, slowly. It reached inside her suit, pulling something small and shiny. Ethan noticed and tensed. "What is that?" He asked sharply. She stopped moving, eyes wide. Then she whispered, "Something important." Ethan narrowed his eyes. "Show me," he said. She turned away, hiding the object. Ethan didn't sleep that night. One hand on his blaster, one eye open. The alien girl beside him, warm in his sleeping bag, hiding something he couldn't see. And he knew whatever she was planning, what she did next, would be unexpected. Ethan woke up to a dim light and a deep silence. The fire had died, and his body was stiff, half numb from cold. The sleeping bag beside him was warm, but the alien girl Shira was gone. He reached for his blaster instantly. Eyes scanning the broken ship. "Shira?" He called out, his voice low but firm. No answer. His breath was heavy in the frozen air. He stepped carefully out of the sleeping bag and followed a faint trail of footprints leading outside. Snow was falling again, slower now, like soft ash. He walked past twisted metal, broken panels, and the shattered wing of the transport. Then he saw her kneeling beside a piece of wreckage, holding something close to her chest. Her back was to him, her thin figure shaking slightly. Ethan raised his blaster but didn't aim it yet. "Hey," he said, "I'm not in the mood to play games." She turned slowly, her glowing eyes meeting his. In her hands was a small round device, pulsing with a soft blue light. It looked like a transmitter, but not human-made. "You were going to call your people?" he asked, stepping closer. Shira stood up, her face unreadable. "No," she replied. "It's not a beacon. It's a memory core." Ethan lowered the weapon. "But not all the way." "A memory of what?" he asked. She hesitated, then whispered. "Of why this war began." Ethan blinked, surprised. "What are you talking about?" She looked past him, toward the silent horizon. "Our history books say humans fired the first shot," she said, "but this core has something else. It shows your leaders made contact with ours. In peace. But then someone twisted it." Ethan didn't know what to believe. He had grown up in military training camps, taught to see her kind as dangerous, unpredictable, even monstrous. But now standing in front of her, he didn't see a monster, just a girl who looked as lost and broken as he felt. "You expect me to believe that?" he said. "That our war started because of some lie?" Shira nodded. "I don't care what you believe," she said, "but you helped me when you didn't have to. Now I want to help you understand the truth." Before Ethan could answer, a sharp sound echoed across the ice, a buzzing noise, deep and metallic. They both turned toward the sound. A drone, half burned but still active, was dragging itself across the snow, its red eye blinking weakly. One of the automated scouts. From the ship malfunctioning, but still dangerous, Ethan shouted, "Get down!" As the drone locked onto them, it fired a blast, grazing the ice near Shira's feet. She fell, and Ethan ran to her, pulling her behind a metal panel. He peeked out and aimed, blasting the drone's sensor. It screamed like a dying animal and collapsed, sparking and twitching. Silence returned. Shira was breathing hard, her hands shaking. "You saved me," she whispered. Ethan stared at the smoking wreck, then at her. "Yeah, well, I guess we're even now." They returned to the shelter. Both tired, both injured, but something between them had shifted. Not trust exactly, but something close, something new. As they sat beside the fire, Shira slowly pulled out the memory core again. She held it toward Ethan. "Do you want to see?" she asked. Ethan looked at it, then back at her. "Only if you're not planning to erase my brain with it," he said dryly. Shira smiled, just barely. "It doesn't erase," she said. "It shows you what you forgot." He took the device carefully, feeling its strange warmth. It hummed softly as it connected with his suit interface. A small hologram appeared in the air between them, two figures standing together, one human, one Sithari. Shaking hands, the video was old, maybe from the first contact mission. Then static filled the screen, and a distorted voice said, "Do not trust them. If they survive, we all fall." The feed ended, and the light died. Ethan stared at it, then looked at Shira. What was that voice? She looked at him seriously. "That was not human," she said, "and not Sithari." They sat in silence again. Something much bigger than both of them was unfolding. The war they thought they understood was only the surface of a deeper game. A darker hand moving the pieces. Ethan leaned back against the metal wall, holding the sleeping bag open. "You still cold?" he asked. She smiled, just a little. "Yes." She slipped in beside him again, this time without hesitation, and for the first time, there was no tension. No fear, just the shared warmth of two enemies who might not be enemies after all, as the storm raged outside, and the stars above blinked quietly in the distance. Ethan whispered, "Maybe we were never supposed to meet like this." Shira whispered back, "But maybe." "That's exactly why we did," inside the sleeping bag between the silence and the snow. The first seeds of an impossible alliance began to grow. Ethan was dreaming. He was back home on Earth, under the orange sky of New California. His sister was laughing, throwing a paper plane that turned into a ship. Then, a shadow fell across everything, and the paper ship caught fire. He woke up with a sharp breath. The cold was still there, biting his cheeks. The fire had died again. And Shira was gone. He sat up fast, panic rising in his chest. "Shira?" he called, his voice louder this time. Only the wind answered. Then, a low thump, followed by another, heavy, slow, and getting closer. Not footsteps, not normal ones. Something else. Ethan grabbed his blaster and crawled out of the shelter. The sky was still dark, but the snow was glowing faint blue, reflecting the twin moons above. He scanned the area, eyes searching for movement. Then he saw her, Shira, standing completely still behind a half-buried wing of the ship. She held her hand up, warning him not to move. Ethan crept closer, whispering, "What is it?" Shira didn't look at him, just pointed ahead, and then he saw it. A shape, tall and slow, was walking across the snow. It looked human, but moved wrong. Its body flickered, as if made of broken light, a mechanical skeleton with glowing red lines running through its chest. It was one of the ghost soldiers, a machine built from human tech, corrupted by unknown alien code. These things were supposed to be extinct, shut down after the Sithari War. So what was it doing here? Shira whispered, "It's scanning, looking for survivors. It will kill us if it finds us." Ethan cursed it under his breath. They had no power weapons, no EMP, just a weak blaster and some ice. He watched as the machine paused, turning its head slowly. Its faceplate opened like a flower of metal, revealing a red scanning eye. Then it stopped, facing their direction. Ethan's hand tightened around his weapon. Shira pulled out a small device, something sleek and silver. "What is that?" Ethan asked. "A disruptor pulse," she said. "One-time use. Will it stop that thing?" She hesitated. Maybe's not good enough," he said. "We run." "Now." "No," she whispered. "It tracks movement." The ghost soldier stepped forward, its metal legs sinking into the snow. They only had seconds. Shira looked at Ethan, her hand shaking. "If this doesn't work," she said, "run and don't look back." Before he could stop her, she stood, raised the device, and pressed it. A pulse of blue light shot out like a wave. The air rippled. The snow trembled. The ghost soldier froze in place, its body flickering wildly. Then it screamed, a horrible glitching sound, and fell to its knees. But it didn't shut down. It began rebooting. "Move!" Ethan shouted, grabbing Shira's hand. They ran across the snow, dodging debris, slipping on ice. Behind them, the machine rose again, now moving faster, glitching forward with unnatural speed. Ethan spotted a crevice in the snow, an old cargo hatch half buried. "This way!" he yelled, pulling Shira with him. They dropped inside just as a red laser cut through the air above them. Inside, the hatch was dark and narrow, but safe for now. They landed hard, gasping for breath. The door above closed halfway, snow beginning to fall over it again. They sat there in silence, heartbeats loud in their ears. The machine's steps faded slowly, moving away, confused by the tunnel. Shira leaned back against the wall, eyes closed. "That was close," she said. Ethan laughed nervously. "Yeah, I hate surprises." She looked at him, her voice quieter now. "Those machines weren't made by us," she said. "Not by us either," Ethan added. "At least not that version." They both sat there, realizing something. This wasn't just a crash. Someone or something had sent that machine here. To make sure no one survived, Ethan pulled out the broken beacon. He checked the frequency. It was being jammed. No signal in or out. They were completely cut off, but why? Why trap two enemies on a dead planet and send a killer robot after them, unless they weren't supposed to meet? They weren't supposed to talk. They weren't supposed to learn the truth. Ethan looked at Shira. Still think it's just war? She shook her head, her glowing eyes full of fear and curiosity. No, she said. I think it's something much, much bigger. Outside in the dark snow, the ghost soldier stood still again. Its red eye blinked once, then a new voice came through its system, cold and alien. Target identified, it said. Phase 2 begins. Ethan had always trusted his instincts. In war, they kept him alive. In space, they helped him survive. But now, sitting in a frozen tunnel under a dead moon, next to an alien girl who used to be his enemy, his instincts were silent. Something felt wrong. Not with her exactly, but around her, like she knew something she wasn't saying. And every second they stayed alive, the silence between them grew heavier. They had rested for maybe an hour, hiding in the half-buried cargo tunnel. Above them, the ghost machine's footsteps were gone. The air was cold, but not deadly. Still, Ethan didn't sleep. He just watched her. Shira was sitting near the corner, legs crossed, eyes closed. She was humming softly. A strange alien tune, sad and slow. Her voice echoed through the metal. It didn't sound dangerous. It sounded lonely. Hey, Ethan said quietly. That song, what is it? She opened her eyes slowly. A funeral song, she replied. Ethan blinked, surprised. For who? She looked away. For people who died in silence, she said. Unseen. Unheard, forgotten. He didn't know what to say. They sat in that silence for a moment. Then he pulled the beacon out of his bag, twisting a few wires. If I can boost the signal, he muttered. Maybe we can call for evac. Shira stood and walked over. Don't, she said quickly. It could alert the ghost unit. I thought it was far away now, Ethan said, not looking at her. It is, she replied. But it's not the only one. Ethan froze. What? She stepped back, biting her lip. There are more, she whispered. I didn't tell you because you wouldn't have stayed calm. He stood slowly, eyes locked on hers. How many more? 2, maybe 3, she said. They were sent to erase the wreck and everyone in it. By who? Shira was quiet, too quiet. Ethan felt the tension rise again. Shira, what aren't you telling me? She finally looked up, her voice cracking. I'm not just a soldier. She said, I was on a mission. But not a rescue. I was supposed to secure the core. The memory core? She nodded. It contains records from a secret alliance before the war ever started. Our leaders erased the evidence, blamed the humans, started the fire. But the core survived. Ethan stepped back, trying to make sense of it. So you were going to find it, take it, and what, destroy it? No, she said. Hide it. Because if the truth comes out, both sides will fall. He looked down at the half-burned drone she'd blasted earlier. How do I know you're not lying to me right now? Shira didn't answer. Instead, she opened a small pouch from her suit and handed him something. It was a necklace, simple, metallic, with a symbol he didn't recognize. What's this? My sister's, she said softly. She died trying to expose the truth. They silenced her. Ethan stared at the necklace, then at her. You really want peace? She nodded. Then why keep secrets from me? Because I didn't trust you, she said. And maybe I still don't. Ethan exhaled slowly. At least that's honest. He said. He sat back down, this time next to her. His blaster was still on his lap, but not aimed at her. We have to survive long enough to get that core off this rock, he said. She looked at him. Then the metal walls around them. We'll need a better plan, she replied. Just then, a deep, mechanical voice echoed through the tunnel walls. It wasn't human. It wasn't Cthari. It was something else. Unauthorized fusion detected. The voice said, Purge sequence initializing. They both stood up instantly, eyes wide. What was that? Ethan shouted, Shira's face went pale. "The ship," she said. "It's waking up. It's not just a wreck, it's a guardian." "What kind of guardian?" Ethan asked, stepping toward the tunnel opening. She grabbed his arm. "One designed to protect the truth," she said, "even if it has to kill us to do it." Ethan looked toward the faint blue light coming from the end of the tunnel. It was pulsing now, alive, watching, like an eye, and it had just opened. Cliffhanger ending line. "We thought the war ended years ago," Ethan said. "But maybe it never ended at all." For the first time in hours, the emergency beacon was blinking green. It had taken Ethan and Shira almost everything to get the signal working. Wires twisted, batteries drained, and fingers frozen from cold and tension. But now the message was out, and someone was coming. Ethan sat against the wall of the cargo tunnel, staring up at the tiny blinking light. Shira sat across from him, holding the memory core close to her chest like it was part of her. They hadn't spoken much in the last hour, not because of anger, but because both of them were afraid, not of each other anymore, but of what came next. "Do you think it'll be humans?" Ethan asked finally. Shira hesitated, then answered. "I don't know," she said. "You're not the only one with scanners." Ethan looked at her sharply. "You mean your people heard it too?" She nodded slowly. "Not all of them," she added. "Only the ones watching this moon." Ethan frowned. "Watching? Why?" Shira ran her hand along the memory core. "Because this moon isn't just a crash site," she whispered. "It's a secret burial ground." Ethan's heart skipped. "For what?" "Truth," she replied. "And those who tried to protect it." Suddenly, a loud boom echoed through the sky above them. The ground shook slightly, snow drifting down from the ceiling. They rushed to the surface, peeking from behind the broken ship. A sleek black cruiser was landing in the distance. It didn't have human markings. It didn't have Sithari symbols either. It was silent, dark, and moved too smoothly, like it didn't obey gravity the way normal ships did. Ethan stared at it, squinting. "Is that your side's tech?" Shira shook her head. "No," she said. "It's something else." Before they could move, a bright blue light shot from the cruiser, scanning the wreckage. Then 3 tall figures began walking out of the ship, covered in silver armor, smooth helmets, and glowing eyes. They looked like Sithari. Elites, but taller, faster, more mechanical. Ethan raised his blaster. Shira stopped him. "Wait," she said. "I know them. At least I thought I did." The leader of the trio walked forward, its voice sharp and robotic. "Subject Shira 7, it said. You have failed to complete your mission." Ethan tensed. "Who are they?" He whispered. Shira's voice cracked. "Not soldiers," she said. "They're purifiers." Ethan had never heard the name, but the way Shira said it chilled him. "They're not here to rescue us," she said. "They're here to erase all evidence." The purifier leader raised its hand. "You are ordered to surrender the human and the memory core," it said. "Your cooperation will result in painless termination." Ethan stepped in front of Shira, blaster pointed at the armored figure. "You'll have to go through me," he said. The purifier tilted its head slightly. "A primitive reaction," it said. "Expected." Shira reached into her suit and pulled out a small silver sphere. It was glowing, pulsing with the same rhythm as the memory core. "What are you doing?" Ethan asked. "Stalling," she said. Then threw the sphere into the snow. A shockwave blasted out, knocking the purifiers backward. "Run!" she shouted, grabbing Ethan's hand. They ran across the frozen plain, sliding down into a narrow canyon of ice. The purifiers recovered fast, chasing them with inhuman speed. Shots fired over their heads, melting snow and ice around them. Shira shouted a code into her wrist device. A hidden passage opened in the ice wall, an old research vault long forgotten. They dove inside, the door ceiling shut behind them. Silence. Their breaths echoed in the darkness. Ethan leaned against the wall, heart racing. "Why do I feel like we just made everything worse?" Shira looked at him, her eyes glowing faintly in the dark. "Because we did," she said. They weren't just after the core. They were after me. Ethan's jaw clenched. Why? She looked down, voice trembling. Because I wasn't supposed to survive the crash. What are you saying? I was the decoy, she whispered. They sent me here to die. Ethan stared at her, the truth hitting him like a hammer. She was never meant to come back. The memory core was just bait. And now they were both trapped in a forgotten vault beneath a frozen world. Hunted by machines that didn't care about sides. Asterisk, the hidden vault was not cold like the surface. It was warm, too warm. The walls were smooth, made of a dark glowing metal that pulsed softly with blue light. Ethan had seen many bunkers, labs, and ruins during his missions, but nothing like this. He and Shira stood in silence, looking around. The chamber they had fallen into, no dust, no decay. It was as if the place had been waiting alive. What is this place? Ethan asked. Shira stepped forward slowly, her voice low. This isn't Thari tech, she said. It's older. They walked deeper into the vault, the lights flickering to life as they moved. Symbols lined the walls, half human, half something else. Circular doors opened automatically, as if the structure recognized them. Ethan glanced at Shira. You've been here before? No, she said, but something about this feels familiar. They reached the central chamber, a circular room with a tall pillar rising in the middle. Floating above the pillar was a strange orb shifting between colors, humming like it was alive. Ethan stepped forward, his hand reaching out. The moment his fingers touched the light, everything changed. The floor beneath them pulsed. A hologram exploded across the room. It showed stars, planets, galaxies, and then two species standing side by side, humans and Thari working together. Shira gasped. This is history, she said. Before the war. The image shifted. It showed meetings, trade, peace. Then a shadow appeared in the stars, a black mark slowly growing, spreading across the galaxy. Ships burning, cities falling, screens without sound. Voice of an ancient AI filled the room. You are not the first to stand here, it said. You are not the first to forget. Ethan stared at the vision. What are you? He asked. We are the Ark, the voice replied. A vault of memory, built by both your ancestors. When the dark came, they chose to hide the truth, hoping it would be found again. Shira stepped beside him, her hands shaking. The dark, what is it? Corruption, the AI said. Not a species, not a weapon, a virus of thought. It twists trust into fear, unity into war. Ethan felt cold again, not from the air, but from the truth. So, all this time, he whispered, we weren't enemies. You were partners, the Ark said, but you were made to forget. The memory core Shira held began to glow, pulsing in sync with the orb. The Ark spoke again. Together. You can awaken the next sequence, but only together. Ethan and Shira looked at each other. Everything that had happened, the crash, the machines, the lies had led them here, to this moment, and now they had a choice. Shira reached out. First, placing her hand on the orb, Ethan followed. The instant they touched it, a shockwave of energy surged through the room. Symbols on the walls lit up, doors unlocked, and a deep sound echoed through the vault like a heart waking up. A new hologram appeared, showing coordinates, data, and something massive hidden beneath the ice. It was a Shipno, a city buried for centuries, powered by forgotten technology. Shira's voice shook. That's not Thari, she said. It's not human either, Ethan added. The Ark spoke one last time. This moon is not dead. It said, it is sleeping. And now it begins to dream again. Suddenly, alarms echoed across the vault. Red lights flashed, walls shaking slightly. Ethan turned to Shira. They found us, he said. A cold voice came through the comms, metallic and empty. You were warned, it said. The truth does not belong to you. Shira looked at the glowing orb, her face pale. If we leave now, they'll bury this again, she said. If we stay, we might not survive. Ethan clenched his jaw, eyes hard. Then we make them regret ever waking it. From beneath the vault, a sound began rising, machinery groaning, systems powering on. The ancient ship buried under the ice was waking up, and it was responding to them in the silence of the stars. Something forgotten was opening its eyes, and it remembered who betrayed it. The vault trembled beneath their feet. Energy surged through the floor, humming like a heartbeat waking from centuries of sleep. Ethan and Shira stood at the center, hands still on the orb, watching as the holographic city beneath the ice came alive. Above them, the purifiers were cutting through the sealed door. Sparks rained down like silver rain. They had minutes, maybe less. The Ark's voice returned, calm and final. "You have accessed the last memory," it said. "This moon is the last beacon of what your species once were. But be warned, truth is a weapon, and so is silence." Ethan looked at Shira. They had risked everything to reach this point. Now, the truth sat in front of them, raw, ancient, and dangerous. A forgotten alliance, a war built on lies, a system designed to divide, and now a choice. The Ark continued. "You may upload this knowledge to the network," it said. "All systems, all species will see it, but it will bring chaos. Governments will fall. Wars may ignite before peace can rise. Or," it said, "you may bury it again. Erase this place. Silence the core, protect what is left, and let the galaxy continue believing the lie." Silence filled the room. Shira stared at the glowing orb, her face torn. "I came here thinking I was a soldier," she said softly, "but now I don't know who I am." Ethan nodded. "I came here to fight," he said. "Now I just want to stop fighting." Footsteps echoed above, closer now, louder. The purifiers were nearly through. Shira stepped toward the console, her hand trembling. "I can start the upload," she said, "but it won't just expose the lie, it'll show who built it." Ethan narrowed his eyes. "You mean the real enemy?" She nodded. "They've been hiding between us this whole time." Suddenly, a voice came through Ethan's old comlink. "Ethan Cole," it said. He froze. That voice. It was his former commander, General Vale. He was supposed to be dead. "You've done well, son," Vale's voice said. "Now destroy the vault, and we'll bring you home." Ethan stepped back in shock. "How are you alive?" he asked. "You were never supposed to meet her," Vale said coldly. "You were bait, both of you." "We needed to make sure the Ark stayed buried," Shira gasped, her eyes wide. "They used us," she whispered. "They used everyone." Ethan stared at the orb, the console, the truth. Then he looked at Shira. "Do it," he said. "Let them see." She moved fast, typing into the console. The orb pulsed bright white, then gold, then pure light. The upload began, above them. The purifiers broke through the ceiling just as the ancient ship beneath. The vault roared to life. Energy surged up through the floor, blasting the attackers back. The Ark was defending them. The console beeped once. Upload complete, then silence. The light faded. The orb dimmed. The vault was still again. Shira stepped back, breathing hard. "It's done," she said. "The truth is out." Ethan smiled faintly. "So what now?" A hidden door opened behind them, revealing a small ship, glowing with the Ark's energy. A message blinked on the dashboard. "You may leave if you choose." They looked at each other, no words needed. They walked into the ship together, side by side, two soldiers who were never meant to meet, two enemies who became the key to peace. As the ship rose from the vault, breaking through the ice into the cold starlit sky, the moon below began to shift. The old city awakened fully, spreading its light across the surface, beaming its signal out to every corner of the galaxy. Across planets, stations, and war zones, leaders received the truth, and with it, a question they could no longer avoid. What if everything we believed was wrong?